All right, we're live.
Well, hello, everybody.
How's it
Hello.
going? Sorry
All
about
right.
last week.
Oh, that's okay, Ed.
I'm sorry for what was going on with you.
That was, oh God, that was scary.
What was going on?
I had a stroke.
Oh my
Oh,
God! No,
shit.
really?
Yeah, I had a stroke. I was in the hospital for 2 days. I'd lost complete loss of my left side. My face was drooped down and everything. Couldn't
Wow.
talk.
And
So
it looks like you've recovered almost 100%.
I'm almost 100% back the way I was. I have a little bit of deficit from it, but shit happens.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
Is that the first time that's happened to you?
Actually, it's my second.
Oh, okay.
My first one happened back in 2017, but we got it caught early enough that it didn't cause any problems.
Scary.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I had a coworker that had that happen at work one time, and so that's what my experience with it was, and that it was, pretty scary event, really.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's even scarier when you're the one going through it.
I'm sure. Yes.
Yes, cool.
Yeah. Well, we're glad
Uh,
to see you doing so much better. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I feel a lot better too.
Okay. All right,
So what's on
guys.
the agenda for today?
Well, I have something specific that I'd like to bring up here. Um, I've kind of, since we started this thing, the whole emphasis has been on democracy, and so we're trying to be very democratic within our organization here.
Mm-hmm.
I've come to some. There's been some people though that have really been pushing, especially in a certain sub that I've been trying to kind of infiltrate the effective altruism sub. Are you guys familiar with effective altruism?
I've heard of it, but I haven't gone deep into it.
That guy, what was his name? Freed Sam Bankman Freed, that
Yeah.
guy that got caught with all that he went to jail for scamming people with a Bitcoin thing or something like
Mhm.
that. Or anyway,
NFTs, I believe it was.
yeah, and well, I think it was all these things together. Anyway, he was giving a lot of money to political parties, and that was all part of this effective altruism. He was giving a lot of money to different charities and different things like this, and he was a big player in what they call effective altruism. Anyway, gave it a bit of a bad name when he ended up going to jail. It wasn't started by him; he was one of the big players. It was actually started out of Oxford in England. A guy there that's where the head office is, I think. And anyway, their whole angle is that if you're going to give money to charities and things like this to try to, fix things in the world, it really makes a lot of sense to really think about where get the best results for your money would be. Where to put your money that you would get the most effectiveness in saving lives or making lives better or whatever. Anyway, there's a lot of controversy about this, but they have gotten a lot of traction. There's a lot of people a lot of millionaires out there and people with a lot of money that are looking for where they want to put their money to get the most effect out of it. They listen to this guy or these people. There's actually 3 different organizations I know of. There's Effective Altruism, there's Give Well, and Open Anthropy.
Philanthropy.
Philanthropy, that's the term, yes. Anyway, those are 3 that I know of. There may be more. But they all claim that they are using their brains more than any other organization to figure out the best way to use your money. So they're saying, give us your money and you're going to get the most effect out of it if you give it to us, because we know where to put that money to have the most effect. Now, organizations that have been around forever, like the Salvation Army or any of these other organizations, they're going, like, what? You don't think we thought about this? Like, you don't think that we're actually thinking about the best way to spend the money? Like, what are we, stupid? You know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the controversy, right? These people coming in and saying, we're way smarter than everybody else. And the old organizations are going, like, what are we, stupid? You know? So anyway, and the choices they make about where the money should go is always a controversy, right? But they have gotten huge traction. And there are a whole bunch of people with money that are looking for where to put it. And they listen to these people, especially in Silicon Valley. So it's a very big sub. There's a very big sub called Effective Altruism. And they talk about all this stuff. And like they were even involved before the pandemic. I just made a post asking about what they were doing during the pandemic because they foresaw that a pandemic would be massive catastrophe, and they were trying to put money into different ways of mitigating the problems that might happen. It's controversial whether or not any of the money they spent was actually effective when the pandemic actually hit. So I was trying to see what the evidence was about, you know, you would think that they would be able to prove how well they spent their money and all the
or at least talk about it and say we fucked up.
And they do talk about it, but it is really hard to equate what, and I can understand that. It's hard to actually equate how much good they did with this money. But anyway, all that aside, I really think it's a wise idea for us to get our foot in the door with this subreddit, because all these people are looking, they all have money and they're all looking for where to put it. Okay. Now, I think we have a really good argument that the most effective altruism you could ever do would be to support the KAOS system, because in the long run, it's going to do the most for making everybody, saving lives, for, stopping wars, for, making the world better, right? Hopefully we can solve things like climate change and stuff like this using the KAOS system. So I think we have a great argument that we are the most effective place to put your money. So that's why I want to target this group. Now, if I target anarchist groups, they all want to do things, but they don't have any money. If I target communist groups, they all want to do things, but they don't have any money. This entire group all has money to give. So we're going to be needing money. We're going to need, where this is. So we need to target the people that have the money. Okay, so these people are not anarchists. They're generally businessmen. These people are generally, run small businesses, or they are executives at businesses, or, they're in the business world, right?
So this would actually benefit them in the long run.
Well, I would, if you're
you
really
figure
rich,
the review process in that.
Some of these people do believe in solving the what do you call it, the wage gap or the inequality, where some people make nothing and other people make so much. Even though they're on the end of making so much, they are trying to create a better world where it's more even, right? And so, but, a lot of rich people will not actually like our program because they want to stay the rich people, right? So I don't expect to get anywhere with them. But there's a lot of people, and I expect there's both in this sub. There's people that like the way there's a divide in rich and poor, but they want to feel good giving money. So they're part of this, right? But then there's others, like I said, that are more than willing to let their position and their wage go down if it can bring everybody else's wages up. So, and those are the people I really want to target. But so anyway, when I'm talking to these people, and I've managed to get the attention of a few of them on this sub, and shown them the idea that we have here. I have not gotten any of them to join our thing yet, but I did get a couple of good engagements. And one thing they always hit me on is leadership. They want to see a strong leader because that's how business runs from their point of view, right? And that none of this is going to get anywhere if we don't have a strong leadership. Yes, I know you're gonna.
It's funny, but it's true.
You're making me laugh now, Brian.
I know.
What? Can I say something? Can I say something?
You're going to have a lot more to say by the time I'm done, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, the whole strong leadership is maintaining the status quo. And that's why these people are there, because they want to maintain the status quo, but they want to look good. So they join this and they say, we're going to do this. But I think you mentioned something about where exactly all the money goes, exactly what project. It seems to be vague. That's a big red flag right there. That this is more just people patting themselves on the back, but they can't, and they want to. Maybe they want a better world, but at the same time, they can't break out of their cultural conditioning.
Yeah,
they can't let that go. It's scary as fuck to them on some level, right?
I agree with you, and it's probably even the majority. I think you're actually correct, and I think that even makes up probably the majority of the people in this sub. But there are some that I think are actually mean what they're saying when they say.
Well, I believe that there's always variations in population.
There's always variations, yes, and we need those people that are on that fringe that are not the main people. Maybe once again they have money, and
we need them all, honestly, at some point.
What's that?
We need them all, honestly, at some point.
Well, I don't think we need them all, because all of them would add up to.
We're trying to build a democracy, so everybody has to be there.
Oh, yeah. Well, I expect them all to get involved in our system, but I don't expect them all to give money to build it. So anyway, but I expect they will all be involved in the system eventually, just like all of us will be. We'll all be giving our opinions. So anyway, when I was thinking about this, I kind of argued with them, because we want to be a very democratic system. But when you really think about it, and I actually started thinking about this after you made that post, Ernst, you made the post talking about cooperative businesses. And I put in a link there to some information about in Spain back in the 50s and 60s. Yeah, back in the 50s and 60s, they had some of the most successful cooperative businesses ever, right? And in those businesses, they still had leaders. Now, this is an anarchist group building cooperative businesses, but they still pick leaders. Now,
what year was that? What year was that?
They started in the 50s and 60s.
So it was a little early to really use computer communications.
Oh, yeah.
And to build systems based on that.
Yes, but even today, there are some cooperative businesses, and I can't think of any of them that do not pick a leader.
I can't either, Brian. Yeah. Honestly, I can't. I think that there's a huge opening because there's power in an organization like that. Yeah. That these people want a leader because it's a cultural norm, and they just can't see it any different. There's usually money that has to be put into it. If you can find a way for everybody involved to get together equally, I think there's great power in that. And if that can be enabled, then people will see something valuable that, everybody, all the rich will see it, right?
I don't know if that's possible, because if I look at a business, like I may be stuck in the same thing you're talking about, where everybody's stuck in this idea of hierarchy
cultural,
or whatever.
Cultural.
I think you are, and I'm going to argue why after you're done.
Okay, but I may be stuck in that. But let me just give you my perspective here. If I wanted to start a cooperative business, and so I'm going to relate to welding. But in welding, we have several. There's the welders, and then there's the people in sales, and then there's the people in drafting or in engineers, right? And then we have somebody over all of that that's overseeing the whole thing. Now we all have the draftsmen. We cannot, or the engineers that are engineering how the building's going to go up, or how where the beams go and everything like that. I don't have any say in that, and I probably shouldn't, and I rely on them to do their job. I want them to be that. And I maybe have some input, but very little compared to them. When it comes to actual...
I believe you can still have division of labor.
Yes.
But you just don't need that top guy. You need a collaborative, communicating everybody together instead of that top guy.
Well,
I'm out here welding though, and the engineers are there engineering, and then a customer needs to deal with somebody to figure out, something about, the next job or whatever. He needs somebody he can go to and get a quick answer.
So you have somebody.
Hey.
So why can't he say, well, do I need an answer from this guy or do I need an answer from that guy? And then just go to the appropriate guy, or inside the organization have a system that channels him to the appropriate knowledge sources inside the place when he wants an answer.
Well, that's not what I'm saying. I think that the leader does. So if it's an engineering problem, he brings it to the engineer, and I don't get involved. I'm the welder out there. If it's a problem with the welds and the customer had a problem with actually the bead, the weld itself, he's going to come to me. And so there's somebody coordinating that, right?
I don't see any problem with that.
Yeah. So, and the other thing is, whoever is coordinating this stuff, we call them a leader, let's say, or the top person, but they're up for review all the time, and we can challenge them at any time. What do they call that? Confidence vote, right? That's what they do in politics. They call it a confidence vote.
That's very normal. Most co-ops are like that. That's very normal, and that's how it is, and that's how people think is the only way to work, because they just don't have a control that is different to show them otherwise.
Okay, well,
and I can't say for sure that what I'm thinking will work either, but I can say with a lot of certainty that if somebody makes it work the way I see it, it will work. It will work very well. And people will have to take notice of the power of collaboration. They already are, but they always want to have collaboration as a way to grease the machine, not to empower the people, right?
Yeah.
So they tell people, we're collaborating, but there's always this one big guy who can put the hammer down whenever it doesn't go his way. And that is, it becomes a limitation on people's psyche, on their ability to generate personal energy towards the projects and stuff. And without that, I think it will be quite amazing.
Well, in a good cooperative that's running right now, which there are some, that there may be a top person, but he can't really bring the hammer down because everybody could also remove him from that position, right? So that does limit his ability to bring that hammer down, right? There's somebody over him, and that's the group.
He could certainly find ways to do things that would upset the group and slow down the process of their complaints, because they only have so many moments when they can have that input as a group.
See, the way I'm looking on the Constitution for our system, we can be called out anytime. There is no limit as to what can cause us to be removed from any kind of leadership position.
Yeah, well, I think
we'll have a leader.
Yeah.
So Brian's not really done with what he's trying to say. So Brian, go ahead and finish what you're saying. And I already got 4 points I'm going to say now.
Brian wants to be the boss.
No, but I want to apply for the position. Yes.
So,
and the reason why I want to do this, there's several reasons. One of them, I think it will, like Ernst just pointed out, nobody has set a precedent yet where there isn't this type of thing. And I don't think we should experiment with that right now, because
do you think somebody has set a precedent for what we're doing besides, the internet itself and all the available AI machines out there already, which are pretty much
I'm just talking about how we manage this, not the actual system. Nobody's done anything like this, like KAOS. That's totally new. But just how we manage ourselves.
People have tried this type of thing. Have they not?
What, like KAOS? I mean, the closest is like Twitter or Facebook.
I think he needs the managing of it.
Okay. Well, like I don't like I said, I think Ernest mentioned himself.
What do you call a poll?
Poll?
It's if there's organizations that do polls constantly.
Yeah.
Why do they take the polls? How do they take the polls?
Well, we'll do the
They're
same.
gathering information about what the people think to give to the government.
Yeah.
Part of the problem with that poll system, though, is they only base their decisions on a very small percentage of the population. So they're not getting everybody's view.
Yeah. I have a problem with polling for that reason, too.
But what makes you think our system can be different than polling?
Because
we're allowing everybody to do it.
Everybody, yeah, whether or not they do it or not, everybody is invited.
But we're moving into a realm of great power.
Yeah.
Right? And if you move into a realm of great power, then you start to have people who target your system to try and control it. That's the internet. That same thing happened to the internet. As soon as it got big, people started controlling it in different ways and working and finding more and more ways all the time.
Ernst, I know that you can probably find problems with what way we have things kind of outlined, but in the direction of how we how this thing will work, you know, as I have written down there, I go into great detail about how we are just building a database that is so open and unmanipulated, right? So we're doing our best, is my point, to try to eliminate those chances of people coming in and controlling the data.
I'm
not risking anything.
I'm convinced that anything anybody builds will be open to the same insistences from the outside world as what has already been built.
Okay, well, we're doing our best here, and you know, if you can figure out a better or more open or clearer or, you know, less chance of people being able to manipulate it, if you can figure out a way to do that, put it on paper, and we'll look at that. But
well, you do have a copy. You do have a copy of my book. That's where I put it all on paper, and that's what brought me into this place. So I'm a little surprised when people talk like as if they haven't even tried to read it.
Ernst, I went through like 40 some pages, but I really found
it's a fifth of the book.
I know. I didn't even get through the introduction. That was 40 pages in, and I didn't get past the introduction. So anyway, I do want to, and it's going to take me some time. But what I found was difficult with your book for me is I'm a really slow reader. So I need an audio book basically. So I have an app that does that. But when I try to copy, try to read through the link that you gave me, my app won't work to read it. So I have to copy paste it over into my notes.
You're doing it on a phone? Are you doing it on a phone?
Yes, I'm doing it on. Yeah, that's my whole computer world is the phone. So anyway, my point is I'm kind of restricted. And I had a hard time trying to read your book because I had to copy paste each page, read it, and then copy paste over the next page and then read it. And so I only got so far, and it's quite an ordeal. But I will try to do it again. I will.
What happened to your laptop? Didn't you get a laptop?
Yeah, I don't know how to work that thing with shit, though. I was only going to use it for this stuff.
Well, if you go to the website with the laptop, you can download the file once, and then you have it all the time. You can read it with a PDF viewer, which is going to be on your laptop automatically.
I did. If I remember correctly, it's been a while. I can't remember. But I think I managed to copy it all into my phone. But it's in a PDF file or some kind of file that, once again, my app won't read it there. So I've been taking it page by page from there and putting it into my notes. And anyway, so...
Well, let me assure you, Brian, if you ever do read the book, what you said, do I have an answer? Yes, I've been thinking about this for decades and decades, and I have worked out a very good answer. And if you read through it and you tried to understand it, I think you would like it. It makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Well,
And one of the things I came up with is that no matter what anybody does, it'll probably be business that drives collaboration.
hopefully,
And that is why I see that as the target.
Okay, so let me get back on the topic here, though, because this once again, there's another reason why we wanted to have a leader, and that's to appease the people out there that don't see any other way of running anything without a leader. And so once again, these people that have money that I am trying to target, that have actual money to try to spend or to donate, they want to see a leader. And that's they want to see a well-organized organization with a strong leader. Otherwise, they don't want to give it money, right? So I think for us to attract money, we're going to have to do things in a way that appeases them to some degree. Now, I don't think it's a far stretch to say that we're still a fully democratic system if we review constantly the leadership, and we can change at any point. Okay.
I think we can tell ourselves whatever we want. It doesn't change what actually is going on. And that's why I came to a democratic group where everybody was going to be democratic. And now somebody is saying we're not going to be that anymore. And that is what's really going on. And you're taking a long time saying it. And I get what you're trying to say. And I'm telling you, I don't like it.
I got that, Ernst, and I kind of knew that you would take this stance. But at the same time, you just recognized that there's been no other organization that didn't have a leader.
Yeah. So why do what everybody else is doing? Why not take this opening, Rami?
Yeah, that's Rami.
Yeah. So I have a lot to say. I want to say I agree with a lot of what Brian's saying and a lot of what Ernst is saying, and I have some other stuff to say. Yeah. So one thing that's happening is we've already been treating Brian as a leader, as our leader. And by that I mean little specific things like he's writing an essay. Here, last week we were talking about the website, and we were discussing for a large portion of the live stream what the language should be right at the front. And maybe I was wrong doing this, I was saying to Brian, is this thing I just made okay? Can we at least have it for now? I'll send it to Edward. He'll update the website. We change it later. He refused to answer. Now, maybe the correct thing I should have done is put it up for a vote. There was only three people at the time. And we could have voted, and it could have been done. Maybe the website would be updated now. I would have sent it to Edward. Edward would have updated it. We would have already finished. Now, Brian and I talked about this, and from Brian's point of view, he saw it as, well, I'm not officially the leader, so I didn't want to say. I didn't want to give an answer. That's just a miscommunication we can fix without actually picking a leader. For one thing,
that sounds like an example of how we're all kind of just wrapped in the culture we grew up in. The world is one way, and it's very difficult.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying about Brian.
The learning process.
And that's what I'm saying about Brian. I'm saying we can function without a leader. And, well, for one thing, like I said, maybe I'm the one who made a mistake asking Brian for a go-ahead when I could have asked the group. I think we've been functioning fine without a leader, except for stuff like that. I wonder how many times has that happened, Brian, where you kind of refuse to answer because we're asking you to decide something.
I would say almost at least once every meeting, just about.
So that could have been something where you actually exposed that each time and said, hey, I don't want to answer. And then we could have said, okay, don't answer. We'll do a vote.
Yeah, it sounds good.
And I mean, and it also brings up a different issue. Who's voting? Well, there's like 10 people in the email we're sending out to everyone. Only 3 or 4 people are here at the time. So maybe our official way of doing it is we're voting by whoever's there that day.
I agree with that.
Well, that's good to
Mostly.
hear every day.
Huh?
It sounds like the government now, but I do agree with it.
And for a bigger vote, we could even vote for saying, "Hey, I think us three is not enough. Let's vote." Later we'll have a polling system in our website. But for now, we could just go to Reddit and say, hey, "We're doing a vote. Everyone vote," and it'd be more than just us three or four.
But we could do both.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We could do depending on what.
I got to I'll have to get a polling system set up on the website. That's not that hard.
Yeah.
There's
So
a
the point
re-
is,
the re-
depending on the
the reason
decision,
I-
we can do the vote of just the people here or the whole group. Another thing I want to say is we could try Brian's way for 3 months and try, let's call it Ernst's way for 3 months and compare and contrast actual test results we can get on which one worked better. Another idea is maybe we can have a 3-person leader group, not 1 person, but 3. It might appease. By the way, I don't agree with appeasement. That shit's evil. That would ruin the whole process. In my understanding, that breaks everything. But a 3-person leader group might, from their point of view, see like it's an appeasement to them. Maybe they would like a 3-person leader group. Maybe it's some problem.
At some point, until we actually have a system that works, that makes things democratic, the numbers of people in this group will force a leader. It just won't work anymore because there'll be too many people. And that's just how it normally goes, right?
I think I know what you're saying.
A group of 4 people, a group of 8 people, I think we can act democratically fairly comfortably.
Yes, but we're hoping to get more than 100 people. So
yes.
Well,
how many people do we have on the
like
subreddit?
Ernst said, though, our method of having not one leader can, if we do it well, can actually show them this is the right way. It's possible.
It's good. It's a good exercise because it's exactly what we're trying to build. And if we can't function with the exigencies of working that way, we're going to have a hard time teaching the world to work that way.
And I'd say that when you appease, that is the shit that you run into. The thing Ernst is saying could happen.
Say what?
yeah,
I'm agreeing with you, Ernst. I'm saying when you appease, that's what you end up with. The danger that Ernst is talking about.
When you appease?
Yeah, because that's what Brian said. We should appease.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Right, exactly. Well, we're not trying to do that.
Principles, you fuck up everything.
We're trying to build a different world.
well,
And we
even-
can't do it by really, like, I change a system on the inside, and lots of people are doing that.
Now, to be clear, we can still put this to a vote, and if greater than 50% of the people say we need a leader, and less than 50% say let's not have a leader, well, then I'm fine with doing that since that's what we agreed to.
With 4 people, it could easily be a tie.
I think this should be a bigger vote and put it on with everybody.
Oh yeah, you can do that.
Let's
But I
do
think
that.
it's a
And then
little early.
if more than half say let's pick a leader, then we will. Go ahead.
I think it's embarrassingly early for that, considering what we're trying to do. What do you think, Edward? Give me a vote or a non-vote, upvote or downvote.
Yeah, let's see what Edward thinks.
Thing is, and I'm looking at this from even whether it's a business status or viewpoint, or looking at it as our group here. Either way, you've got to, right now, we've got to have some kind of leadership of at least a quorum for people to vote.
Yeah.
We've got 142 members in the subreddit. I think based on our principles, thing we put up for a vote right now in the subreddit, and let the masses decide. That is the point of our democracy. Let everyone have a voice. If we're taking it away from them.
Hey, you cut out a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Say that again?
If we're taking that voice away from them, then we're no better than anyone else. We can have a controlling board, but we have to listen to the people. Okay, the people said, we want this done. Then we work together as a group, as a controlling board, to put this implementation into effect.
So, do you think we could do this vote on Reddit, or do you think we need the full poll system on our website?
Right
You can
now,
do vote on Reddit, can't you?
I can, yeah, right now, at this very minute, I think our best reach out is going to be on the subreddit. We have plenty of members that they can voice their opinion, and we can listen to them, show them what we're actually about. That'll also give us firepower for the project
Do we
itself.
want our votes to come from like registered users on our website, or just whoever's on our Reddit?
I would recommend registered users on the website.
Right, so that's what I'm thinking. Maybe we shouldn't use Reddit to do the actual vote.
And the problem is I'm not getting anyone signing up to the website.
Yeah, well, nobody knows about it yet, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I posted it in the Reddit, but no one's coming to it.
Yeah.
I've got the SEO and set up and everything, and I'm just not getting any traffic. I think I'm seeing.
Well, we could easily go to Reddit and say, vote for this. Do we want a leader? And link him to the poll on the website, which doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, give me a couple of days to. I can message y'all when we're ready to do it, or I can even post up the link to it. Give me a couple of days to get the poll system in place.
Well, I mean, are you guys all okay with that? Like, I just proposed it as an idea. Are you guys all okay with that?
I'm all right with that.
Yeah, it sounds great.
I'd like to point out that of those 140 people on the subreddit, I don't think we're going to get any. These people are very flighty. These are people that did not, they are not volunteering to actually do anything for the KAOS system.
So most people are just waiting, just watching.
If they actually wanted to actually physically do something to make this happen, they would have joined our inner group, right? Mm-hmm. And I've offered that to virtually every single one of them when I first introduced them to the KAOS system, so to the sub. So they joined the sub, but they are not willing to do anything. So the chances, they just want to sit in the back and watch, right? So at the most. So I think expecting them to vote on anything is just expecting too much participation out of these people. We can only really expect that out of the people that we've gotten onto the email list, which is about 10 people. And probably not all of them are probably even they're not showing up at the meetings every week here. So even out of that, we'll be lucky to get, there's 4 of us here. We will probably get another 3 or 4 people voting besides that. I think anything beyond that is unrealistic. So
which is fine.
We're talking about maybe 8 people here altogether that are actually going to participate in this vote. That's fine. I just want you guys to have realistic expectations of what this vote is going to be. All right?
Absolutely.
That's a realistic expectation. Okay?
I can have a poll system set up. I'm working on the forum right now for the website. I went with Simple Machine Forums. It's a very open source, easy to manipulate system. Aspects, of course. But it comes with the polling software included. So what I can do is I'm going to continue working on that. We'll get that forum live. We'll get the post up, and we'll go from there. That's where we're standing at the moment. If we want to use the website for it, that's great. We can tell people to come to the website. They're going to say, hey, they got something, and they'll start bringing their friends. We got to give them a reason to come. Right now, there's subreddit. A lot of people are anti-subreddit right now, or anti-Reddit right now. Believe it or not, a lot of people left Reddit during the big exodus and went to Lemmy and other social media sites when they went with their ideas.
When did that happen?
Oh, that happened about 2 years ago.
There's a lot of bastards on Reddit, I'll tell you.
Yeah. The thing is, right now, and there's no way to deny it, Reddit is, for the most part, left-leaning.
Oh, very.
That's not allowing the right-leaning to come in and do that easily. Think about it. How many of us actually go into the right subs? Right-leaning subs?
I have a couple. I like to monitor a few of them.
Right. But you see what I'm saying? Everywhere we're posting things are in groups that we believe in or that we follow, which is what we lean towards. We're not reaching out to 100% of the population on Reddit.
No, we're not.
And that is where we're running into our downfall right now.
Yeah.
We need to get everybody involved. We can't just leave it to left-leaning or liberal viewpoints. We got to get the Republican or right-leaning viewpoints in so they can have a voice too.
Well, we need to get the subreddit or the
website
ready and
you
stuff
guys
like
want to
that.
work on the website right now?
Pardon me?
Do you guys want to work on the website right now?
I have no problem with it.
Yeah, well, we do need. Let me just mention that we really do need the subreddit going, and I don't want to say this in a derogatory manner or be bragging or anything like that, but so far, every single person that has signed up either for the sub or for for the email group here has all been a direct effort from me.
Yes.
Nobody else has brought anybody into this thing at all.
Maybe
not
me.
For not for lack of trying.
I've tried. I don't know if any came over, but I've tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I honestly have not tried.
Yeah. And so, anyway, we need to get to a point that all of us can be participating and bringing people in.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that it's not easy right now, and I know that a lot of you guys are not confident in how to discuss this with people. And so we need to get to that point. And one of those tools that will help you, though, is the website, right? So
yes.
we need to get that website running.
And I'm working on it the best I can.
and then so that we can venture outside of Reddit, because everything is so focused on Reddit right now. We can't, if you go to Facebook, you got to tell them to go to Reddit. So anyway.
All right, so should we work on the website now?
So we need to get that website up, yes.
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, let me put on the screen what we worked on last time. So this is what's on the website now, right, when you get to it. And last week we worked on this instead.
Okay.
And I incorrectly asked Brian, and I should have just went for a vote. Do you guys want to use this as the starting point? We can always change it later. Building a system.
I like that. I like that.
Looks reasonable.
I would gladly put that in.
I had this in there, but I cut it out because Brian said maybe it's too long.
Yeah, that's too much. But what you had originally, I like. I mean,
and do you want
that ending looks okay. The last three little sentences there. A rating system, yeah. I don't mind it. I don't know if it's useful, but I don't mind it.
We can do that. Yeah, that would work.
A lot of this is repetitive, though. Isn't a worldwide union the same thing as saying collective bargaining tool?
No, but you got to hammer it into their heads.
You like hammering? All right, I like hammering sometimes too.
Now I do have the blog.
We can always change it later. What about this last sentence? That's what Edward had.
That's
before.
the keys. Make your voice count. They got to understand they have a voice. Use it. So make your voice count. As far as I'm concerned, that is a key aspect of the site.
Okay, so let's call this done. We'll use this for now. Technical thing now. Edward, you don't have access to this document. Do you want me to? What's the process of me putting a document on our system, the new system?
On the website?
Not necessarily the website, our backend part of ours, our backend documents.
Oh, our backend. I do have a Nextcloud account set up. I'm trying to fine tune it right now so I can get everybody involved to be able to post and whatnot in there.
So do you want me to just email this to you until that's
just email that to me right now? I'll try to have the Nextcloud sorted out with today or tomorrow.
Yeah. And then I'll stop once that's ready. I'll stop using Google Docs and I'll put everything in that.
Yeah, because with Nextcloud, you got Teams and things like that. We have a video platform for Zoom calls and all that.
Well, the main thing is the sharing aspect of things, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me send this to you. Language for website. Now I'm gonna pull up the website and start talking about KAOS now.
I was getting ready to bring it up myself, but okay.
Let's see. Let me make this bigger. So first thing I'd say that the logo is off. Can't even see
Yeah.
the K.
I'm working on that.
What is the login aspect? Is that for the back
The
end?
login is the login is going to allow you to log into the entire KAOS system, not only the forums, but also for like Brian's blogging purposes. People can make little blogs and reply to blogs.
But it's separate from the other thing you just said, right?
The forum?
No, our backend documents, that's separate from that login.
Yeah, that'll be separate from the backend. Yeah, the backend will strictly be administrative people only. I hate to use that term, but that's what we are.
Okay, so scrolling down from the first part of the site, I know this is standard stuff, but does it have to look like this way? This is
I can change that or even remove it. It's just called breadcrumbs.
Like main menu here doesn't make sense. I think
well,
like,
once
the three
when you go down to the main menu is actually going to have more items in it than just the register and home.
Yeah, but can it be like what everyone's used to now, where it's 3 lines right here? As the
I can try to make I can work at trying to make that work. I'll have to look at what themes are available.
Yeah, because this style of things is like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You know?
I know.
And people are not used to it anymore. They're used to the new style of
the hamburger
menu button right here. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be in. And then, of course, it has the little archived articles, which allows you to go back to previous articles that you were interested in.
So Brian, what do you envision to be the thing that happens right below this, like right here? What do you envision as the first thing people see?
Well, the introduction, I gather.
Okay, so this exactly. So the right on the first page is the blog, right after the first part.
Yeah, and I'll be setting up individual. If you go down towards the bottom of the screen, down here, once we get past it all, and you see I did a little formatting. I still got to do a little bit. There it is. Down here below this section here, I'm going to divide this out. So there's going to be blogs and videos available on the home screen. So people can just do, the most recent video. People can just click on that video and they'll get the most recent video, as well as you'll have the access to all our videos that we've done through YouTube linking. So, but you'll have the individual blogs that'll show up in the video, the recent videos and that. It's still a work in progress.
Aside from blog,
looks good, Edward.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so far.
Yeah,
so aside from blog, Brian, what do you envision would be on this website?
I don't know.
Well, one thing is a way to contact us.
What do you guys envision? I'd like to hear your.
Well, one thing is a way to contact us. There's nothing like that here yet.
Yeah, I've got to get that in place. I'll be putting up a link for the forums up there, so you can get into. Forum? I'm going to put a link to the Reddit as well as the on-site.
Oh yeah,
forum.
Our forum. Yeah.
Our forum where you put all your comments or your stuff in.
I'm not even sure we should advertise Reddit so much because this. We really want people to use this instead.
Yeah, I think what we can do though is down at the bottom in the footnotes, I can put in, or the footer, I can put in a link to our Reddit. Way to contact. It's like an average website has, contact us, about us, things like that. That'll be down at the footer area, so a lot of websites.
Write down some of these notes here. Let's see. So contact us. So what about something like about us? That's a standard thing.
Yep, it'll be down there also, and I'll also have a link up towards the top if someone's just wanting to do it quick without browsing through anything.
Yeah, so we have.
You could have a
About
You could have
us
a-
individuals you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll all put our names up there. We'll give a little blurb about each of us. Okay.
Yeah, let them know who we are, what we've done, what we're doing to help progress this.
You could have a link for the votes we're having.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll have it set up for here's the recent polls. And I'm also going to have a link up there of the various AI chatbots that are publicly available, as well as there's going to be a section dealing with, okay, you've got the machine do it. You want to run your own personal bot. Here's how you can connect up to ours. And, here's some recommendations.
It's great.
I don't understand what you mean by our own personal bot.
A lot of the people I talk to now, they're setting up their own AIs on their local computers.
And what are they doing with them?
They're doing the same thing you're doing with ChatGPT, with Grok, with all those. They're doing the same thing. They send it out to scan for the information.
So they're using, they're using it like a search engine to check our
Sort of,
website.
yeah. Check all websites, looking for all things that will help them with.
So so what do we have to do? You were saying that we have to do something on our website to make it possible for them to do that?
No, what I was thinking was adding a link for someone who might be interested in creating their own AI bot that they want to send out to find things. It'd be 100% on them whether they do it or not.
I'm a
I
little
just
bit
want
lost
them-
with that. I'm a little bit lost. I don't understand why.
I want them to have the availability where they don't have to rely on ChatGPT or Grok or whatever the other ones are. They can create their own and be able to do the same thing without having, they'll be able to set it up where it's getting a better result for them.
By the way, I'm lost on what you guys are talking about.
Edward is talking about enabling AI bots to do what I said they're already doing, but doing it in a better way, in a more personal way, which is more what Brian wants to see happen with the database we collect. But Edward is saying, well, let's just go ahead and enable people to scan what's already out there. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
They can scan out beyond our website and pull in from other locations to get comparisons.
I don't know. This is all still a little bit beyond me. I understand how it would work in the KAOS system.
Mhm.
I don't quite understand.
Imagine
how we're
the
providing
KAOS.
a link.
Imagine the KAOS system is already there, and that these robots are accessing it.
Yeah.
It gives people a way to get their foot wet so that they're ready for the system that we're building.
It also is a case of there's a lot of websites they're putting in a authentication factoring systems of blocking AI bots.
Terrific.
Because they do such.
Are you understanding this, Robbie?
No.
Okay, I'm not.
They're actually. Yeah. For example,
what problem are you trying to solve? Help me with that. What problem are we trying to solve?
What I'm trying to solve is allowing the AI to search our database without spamming us to the point where we get shut offline. Because it can very easily turn into a DDoS attack, distributed denial of service. I'm
confused. Are you talking about websites now have this thing where you ask,
you can actually,
you're prompted if AI can search you, and you can say yes or no. That's what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying you want to say yes.
Yeah. We want to say yes, but we also need to control it.
I want AI to be trained on our shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. That sounds okay.
But the trick is the trick is we've got to make sure that we're protecting ourselves from a possible DDoS attack, which will shut our site down for hours to days at a time.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you're saying there's some limitations on that.
There are very big limitations on it, and a lot of websites are putting a block in case. So if you're showing that you're coming from a server or a known AI source, you don't get access to the sites. And I want it, that can overwhelm a site very easily. So, I mean, it's only a 2 or 3 second check on your system, but still, the idea is to stop the bots.
Yeah. Okay. From doing bad things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a security protocol.
Yeah. Okay.
We're not going to be using that because that completely goes against what we're planning on doing. And I'm working with HostGator on being able to mitigate any possibility of that problem happening where we get shut down because too much shit's coming out at one time or being scanned at one time. Because on average, your website gets scanned by spiders or bots, whatever you want to call them, about 2,000 times a day. And then you turn in the AI bots going out there, they're scanning your entire database and website 2,000 times an hour. So we've got to be able to mitigate that issue.
All right. Well, I'm taking your word for it. Let's
me too.
Let's move on to the next thing.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking for like what's on the website as a structure of pages, and then also what to put at the top.
Okay.
And now I'm realizing, of course there is too many links. Some of the stuff should be moved to the menu.
Yes.
Like maybe about us and contact us.
Yeah.
Well, until it takes up the whole screen, and maybe it just looks better to keep it all out there like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a nice limit, and I don't know what it is, of how many things you should have, what you should move to a menu.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
Well, the what is KAOS, I mean, that's going to be our main page. Yeah. So we really don't need that one up. If they haven't read that, all they need to go.
No, it's like a home button.
Yeah.
So if somebody's somewhere else on the website, they should see what is KAOS to bring them back to that page, the home page.
Right, I mean, but up on the link up there,
but then I think
should
that's ugly.
Yeah. I'll see what I can come up with that'll make it work, one way or the other. But the blog, of course, I made sure the blog was available so that Brian can do his essays and things like that, and anybody else too, for that matter. All you have to do is join the group. I can join the website. We can set you to have that privilege to be an author and write out things. All you have to do is let us know you need it. So,
is there a place to sign up?
If you look over on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see where it says register in the menu.
Right, okay. Gotcha.
And does register mean like they're
sign up?
You're signing up for the Joomla side right now. I'm going to work on putting a hook in so that it signs you into the forum also.
Signing up for the what?
The forum. You're signing up for the blog. You're signing up for the main page.
The forum
right now.
So
but
people aren't
I'm going to be.
So people won't be able to look at this stuff until they sign in?
No, they'll be able to look at it. Okay. They just won't be able to reply.
Oh, okay.
They won't be able to reply. I'm working on the settings for the forum where you can reply without being a registered person. Without having to register on the website. There are people that, I want to reply to this, but I don't want to register. You don't have to register to reply. We appreciate it if you do, and you'll have a bigger voice if you do.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So you don't have to register except for being able to post the blog on the blog part where reply to whoever writes an article. But other than that, right now, that's where it stands. And this is accessible from the cell phone too, if you haven't looked at it yet, Brian.
Okay. Yeah.
You look at it, the KAOS, I've got to work on the KAOS icon positioning, but it does work on cell phones with no problems.
Okay.
That was one of the things I was looking for on your behalf, because I know you use cell phone mostly.
I'm sure I won't be the only one. I'm sure there'll be others.
Exactly. There's a lot of people that do.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's, and I can bring up, where's that here?
So the blog and the forum are distinct, separate things, right?
Yes. Yes.
Because some people combine those things.
Yeah, they do. Let's see, give me just a second here. Oop. Yeah. Oops, how about if I learn how to spell it right? E. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. What's going on here? Shit, I can't bring up the forum at the moment. Probably because I don't have it completely published yet. I got to get into the system. But I can...
So I guess that's everything.
Huh?
I've been writing down like all the pages that it would have. I think this is maybe everything.
Yeah, that
Of course,
looks
we'll have
good.
more, but maybe this is just the structure right here. I think we should have a page called governance, and it describes how we're governed.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to be placing the Constitution once it gets completely finished. With everything that's gone on in the last 2 weeks, I haven't been able to work on anything.
Yeah, we don't.
I mean, I've been focusing on my health more than
Yes. And you should.
anything else. But let me see here. I mean, I can go with a simple machines here, but or as a front page too, but I don't like the way that works out. Trying to find what I'm looking for here.
So under contact us, there would be email us, and there would be join the live stream meetings. Do we want to? What's the process for joining the live stream meeting? Or are we just gonna? What? I mean, is it just gonna send us an email and we add them to the email list?
Yeah, I was planning on doing that. It's gonna, I'll have it send to, because you're the one right now that's controlling the email list and that. I'm gonna have it where someone wants to join the live stream through the website. I'll have it set up where it forwards it to your primary email.
And maybe by the time we got to that point, we should have switched to KAOS email.
Yeah, KAOS email is up and running.
No, I know it's up and running, but we haven't switched.
Yeah, we haven't switched yet.
Yeah, like
I'm
me
using
and Brian and you, or at least me and Brian.
Yeah, I'm using it somewhat.
Email.
I am using it somewhat. But yeah, it's just one of those things that trying to make everything work out and get it lined up right so it works. Here we go.
Takes time.
It does. And it's, you know, with one person and having to have regular life going on, I mean, it's literally, you know, me being
And
the
like
one
Brian
person
said, this
doing
is
it.
all a million times faster than anything that was happening before.
Yeah.
So
Now I do want to show you what the forums look kind of like.
okay.
Shit. Haven't done this in so long.
I gotta use the bathroom. I'll be back, guys. I'm going to remove myself.
Did he just leave?
I don't
He just
understand
went to
what
the
he did.
restroom.
Oh,
I-
okay.
He went to the restroom, so he blanked out completely.
Oh, well, I may
He'll
as
be
well
back.
go then too. I've been waiting.
All
There
right.
you go.
All right.
Restroom break.
Ed and I will hold your place here, I guess.
There you go.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
So-
I'm trying to make this work as best I can so that it achieves what the goals are of the group.
Yeah.
And it's not easy for one person to do. I really need to get some help in on this and collaborate on the website side.
Yeah. Well, there was a few people that was really hoping would be at the meetings here today. Let me see. There was a guy that he goes by the name of 70, I think.
Yeah, I remember 70. I was
Yeah.
in.
I was really hoping he'd be showing up here more often, and maybe he would help out with that part. There was another guy that was can't remember his name now, but he seemed to have a lot of experience with internet as well.
Mhm.
Anyway, yeah, we need to get more backup in these areas, and we're
Need to get more
relying-
backup, more people involved on it because it's slowly starting to get out of control for one person to do.
Yeah, and it's same with what Rami does too. You know, he needs help on his area. He was sick the other week, and we couldn't have a meeting at all because nobody else could do it. Eh? So
yeah, well, I know Brian Lanning was going to jump on, but he's on vacation right now somewhere in Europe, I think.
Oh, really? Okay, that's what he is. All right.
So, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll get him back.
Okay, so this is kind of what the what the forums look like. I don't know if you can get a good picture of it, Brian, because I'm sure you're on your phone.
Yeah, I can see it though.
Okay, you get an idea of what it's looking like there. Let me downsize this here so I can get into the actual machine itself. But you've got these things set up. This is off their website, but you see you've got your various headers for the different areas.
Yeah.
What's recent posts, the stats for the site, how many people there, how many posts, how many topics, so on and so forth, how many members, and it also shows you how many are online.
Is the polling system built into the forum or is it separate?
It is built in. I think I gotta install a plugin for it. I'm not sure. I haven't really gotten into that deep yet. It's been a while since I messed with SMF, so it's been a good 3 years since I did anything in this system. And things have changed in those years, just like everything else computer related. But I recall correctly, I believe the polls are already set up to be able to be done. And I got to access our simple machine forum so that I can get it active so that, we can access it.
Cool.
But that is the basic breakdown. It'll be different color scheme, of course. I'm going to go more with the blue and light green look. Probably stick with this blue and go with a light green on the outside of it. So that's my vision anyway.
So this would be chaosnow.com/forum.
Yes.
Okay.
And if I get it set up right, you can even get into it going forums.chaosnow.com.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's not taking at the moment, but I'm going to look into that today. Oh.
Okay. So are we done with that part then? Or I think so.
I think so.
If anyone has any questions, shoot them.
Not for me at the moment.
Okay.
Thanks again, Edward. That's you really appreciate what you're doing there. How about so the essays? Are we okay with the essays that are written, like the introduction and the how it works? Is that ready to put on the website? Do you think?
I've already got the introduction of how it works on the website.
Yeah. And
It's-
nobody wanted to change anything in there. Did anybody see anything they
I
wanted
didn't.
to change?
I haven't seen anything about anything wanting to be changed. I went through the subreddit, on that post, and was following through on it. I didn't really see any changes that jumped out that needed to be made.
At the very end of the how it's made or how it works, I just wanted to mention that I kind of have a very last category or very last statement at the end. I just kind of very bluntly list off a bunch of things, of how I expect it to affect the world type of thing or things. I call it the goods. And I couldn't come up with any other term in my mind at the moment except for just to say this is the goods, right?
Right.
I don't like that term.
ChatGPT.
Hey?
ChatGPT that shit.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you guys might do better than ChatGPT, though. Yeah, I thought maybe I could ask you.
ChatGPT, you ask it, and it'll give you 50 attempts. Something in there will be good.
I can look into it and see if I can come up with something in the meantime.
Yeah, I just thought
Edward, use ChatGPT.
Yeah,
we could say desired outcomes or something like that.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Desirables.
And so the term I'm using there, but also the list of things I have there. Maybe that list needs to be rearranged in a different way or eliminate some parts, maybe add a couple of things.
I'll look into it a little deeper and see if I can make it.
I would just on that end part there. I just felt like I just threw together that little piece at the end, but I felt something needed to be there. So I'd like you guys to go over that again. Hey?
There is one nice part about that, though.
Yeah.
It shows you're human and you didn't print it out from a computer standpoint.
Yeah. Well, that's you guys like the first thing that Rami says is get ChatGPT on there. Well, I
get accused of using ChatGPT for my responses all over Reddit.
Yeah.
And they run it through the checkers. Oh, it's less than 25% AI. Duh. Yeah. I just know how to write.
Yeah, that's a big accusation you see everywhere now. So anyway, I'm just trying to avoid that as much as I can. But and also I don't know, when I use ChatGPT and I try to compare it to something I've written or have it rewrite it, the nuances in there, I have a hard time deciding what's better, what's I almost find it more confusing. Adds more choice to me, but I didn't really need more choice. I needed somebody to make a decision for me. That's what I'd like. For something to tell me what the right answer is.
Right.
If you throw 100 more choices out there, it just makes it more difficult. So I don't know. I'm just venting about why I don't really jump to ChatGPT for these things that quickly.
Right.
All right. Benefits, resources, provisions, outputs, offerings, products, services, deliverables, assets, yields, return. Want some more stuff?
Are you reading the thesaurus?
I'm reading.
No, he's reading ChatGPT.
Yeah, same thing, kind of.
Gain.
Go through it slower. I didn't hear them all.
All right. Benefits, resources, provisions, outputs, offerings, products, services, deliverables, assets, yields, returns, rewards, gains, outcomes, results, advantages, privileges, entitlements, dividends, fruits, blessings, handouts, spoils, bribes, pacifiers, tokens.
A lot of them sound too like that we're stating this is exactly what's going to happen when we don't really know. So it's more like possible outcomes or possible, what we're hoping, I don't know. Anybody else hear anything there they like?
I have to agree with the what was that? The preferred outcomes. The outcomes of what it is instead of the goods.
But hopeful outcomes or
the hopeful outcomes.
Possible outcomes. What's a good way to put that?
Goals.
Expected outcomes.
Yeah, the expected outcomes.
Are we really? Yeah. You think
What's the
that-
sentence? Give me the sentence.
Um,
And
it
outcomes.
says it says the goods, true, trustworthy data about what people are telling us, the ability to sort opinions by value. You get to decide who the smart people are. It's the closest to worldwide free speech that we can get, creating the conditions to awaken the mass consciousness of this world, using AI to empower humanity instead of controlling it. I think that what we need to do is the expected outcomes
That's not
or
sounding
perspective.
too positive.
Yeah, I'd say let's put it as the perspective outcomes. That way,
Perspective.
yeah.
I'm not that familiar with perspective. What does that mean? Really?
PER perspective. This is our vision on how we see the outcome coming.
Does that make sense to everybody else?
Perspective outcome.
Yeah.
Yes,
we're not.
I think it's better than the goods. The goods has a kind of a connotation to it, right? Like we're just sold you drugs or something.
Yeah. Too woo-hooey. Yeah. That's why I want to get rid of that.
Yeah, I'm saying perspective outcomes because we don't know for fact that these outcomes are going to be what comes to fruition.
Yeah. So the term
that's what we're hoping. So
the term perspective, though, I'm not that familiar with it. Does everybody else feel like that fits the bill?
How about just what we are working for or working towards?
I don't know. That doesn't really ring. That doesn't have a good ring to it.
Perceived.
You got anything to say, Rami? You're not saying anything.
He's thinking. I can see the smoke coming out of his ears.
I was looking up what perspective means. Didn't help.
Oh,
You know?
we could always say perceived.
Perceived.
Expected.
I think perceived. I mean, that rings truer to me because it's a term I understand better. What do you guys think? Perceived outcomes.
I agree with perceived. Because we want to expect these outcomes, but we don't know for a fact they're going to come to the point.
That's right.
This is what we're hoping. So it's perceived, being perceived. This is what we want to see.
Okay.
Whereas,
so perceived outcome. So are we all okay with that perceived outcome?
What was the longer version you had, Ernst?
What we are working towards.
Yeah.
Something like that.
How about that? It's a full sentence.
If you guys think it fits better, I can go with it. It's better than the goods.
It deviates from the rest of it, though, because everything else is not a sentence. Oh, no, here's one. As the noosphere evolved, so do we. That's the whole sentence. It's fine to be switching back and forth. You're already doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we changing it to then? Have we decided here?
I kind of like the goods.
I mean, it does have a human factor to it.
I mean, the language is not brand new. You hear the term public goods.
Yeah.
Some people will trip over it. You got to think of the connotations that some people might have around that too.
And I don't have a lot of that in my head. So
because they can get they can get upset if they're seeing, well, this is what they're promising, and then we don't reach it.
That too. If we just say this is what we're working towards, this is what we're expecting, or
what we're perceiving the outcome will be.
Perceived outcomes. That's all a little better, Edward.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to be clear, it's also just reiterating what was already said previously in the essay.
It is. Yes, it is. But I think we needed it just as a reminder. Like Ernst likes to point out, we got to hammer it into their heads, eh? So.
Well, I do like to point that out.
I want one more whack with the hammer at the end. Is basically what I'm trying.
But there's no need to go on about it.
No, it's only once. It's just one big whack in the head. Anyway.
How about we call it "The Horse Is Not Dead Yet"?
I don't think everybody would get that.
I didn't. So you're right.
You know, when they
So-
say
Beating a
to
dead
beat a
horse.
dead horse.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So the horse
right,
is not
okay.
dead yet. We still got to beat it. Here's another list.
Oh yeah. I never bought into that saying. I would just continue on.
Yeah.
All right.
So what did we decide we were going to go with?
Yeah, what are we doing here then?
Robbie,
We're
what are
gonna
we
go-
doing?
Here you go, Rami. You're in
I'm
control
fine
right
with
now.
the goods, but I'm also fine with what Ernst said.
Really?
What we're looking for, or
Well, what was my sentence again?
you said something like what we are looking for.
No, I
we're looking-
lost it.
What we're looking to accomplish.
Well, we're looking to build anything like that.
I was thinking
about
what
the-
we're looking to accomplish.
What
I
we're
mean, that
working
gives it a little more
towards.
professional. Yeah.
Or what
Yep.
we're working towards.
Okay.
Yes,
The
that, I
outcome.
think that.
The outcomes we're looking for?
Yeah, that works. That's good.
Or the outcomes we're looking to achieve?
It doesn't
Yeah.
ring nice as a title.
Which one?
Or the
The
outcomes
last
we're
one.
hoping
The
to
outcomes
achieve?
we're looking to achieve. It's too long.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
What we're working
Yeah,
towards
looks-
is short,
Okay. Let's go with that.
but I still like the goods.
I'll find a way to put it in there for you, Rami.
I
So
don't really care though.
the outlooks we're looking for. Is that what we decided on? Or
What
how
we're
about the
working
outlooks we're
towards,
working for or striving for?
working towards. What we
Okay.
are working
I like the
towards.
striving, personally. Striving. How would we work that in?
Striving is a little hoity-toity.
Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know.
Well, but
How about
hoity-toity is inclusiveness, and we want hoity-toity is exclusiveness, and we want inclusiveness.
how about if I use what we are looking to happen?
I like mine better, Edward.
Okay, so what we are looking towards,
What we are working towards.
what we are working towards. I've had so many words thrown at me.
I know it's been a busy 5
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
Okay, what we are working towards. There we go.
Yeah,
This is a
let's
problem with Swiss democracy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Maybe we need a leader, Ernst. Maybe a leader could have picked
No,
that. Eh?
We just need a way to communicate. We need to learn to communicate better.
Well,
I don't see how having a leader would help because
Yeah,
Brian, we asked you to
if I
do
was
that,
a leader, if
and
I
you
was
keep
a
throwing
leader
it back
in
at
this,
us.
yeah, if I was a leader in this position, I'd still be going, "What do you guys want to do? What do you want to do?"
Some leaders are like that.
Yeah, but this is a tough one for me. I don't know where to go with it, right? So
One thing I'll say is every time we say chaos or write it out, put it in all caps. And in this essay, it's not all caps.
I've been going through and changing that.
okay, that would help. Yeah.
I have been going through and changing that. It's a slow process, but that's what I've been working on.
And I think it's let me put this on the screen. Where's I have to present again. You have these titles, but there's so many, and you can tell there's too many because there's not enough under each title. So we have this title, and right away we're switching to this. And that's too vague anyway.
Yeah. We can actually include that as part of that first content.
Yeah. And then like all the previous titles have a extra space in between. This one doesn't.
So what we're talking here is formatting, basically, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Just working on the formatting.
I Is there any chance anybody here would want to try to attempt to reformat this thing and
I don't mind doing that, but are you going to change it again?
Well, I'm asking. It's just a matter of format. There's not major changes. So, and this is what I came up with already. And for reasons, because that's the way my brain works. And so I'm thinking if somebody else should go over it with a whole new perspective and maybe look at how to format it a little bit different. You don't have to change the way anything's written, really, but maybe take out a title, add a title.
I mean, one thing is I would cut this out.
Yeah, exactly.
This whole thing is already in closing, sort of. This should be one unit.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot to ask, Rami, but is there a chance you want to go over the whole thing and kind of?
Yeah, I don't mind doing that. Where am I going to be giving that? I'm asking Edward here. Where am I going to be updating that?
Okay, so if you excuse me, if you register in the login or register on the website, I can add you as administrator. That'll also be able to give you background part of the website, and that's where you got to go in to make the changes.
All right.
So
my username is just my name. Let's see. I have to put in something here.
I mean, right now I'm the only registered user.
I just went to register and it's asking me to log in. I can't register.
All right, give me a second. Let me look, see what we got here. You know what? I'm back there now. Let me do this. Where am I looking at here?
We don't have to do it now. You can send it to me later when it's ready.
Yeah, I will. I'll get it all set up. And
well, maybe you should do it now so you know it works and everything, and you got it.
Well, what I was going to do was set up a link or I was going to set up the membership, if you will. And let's see. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. I'd hope I spell the name right. Yeah, change that. Excuse me. Oops. Misspell. There we go. Now once I send this information, you'll be able to change your password in that, Rami.
Okay.
I'm just giving you a temporary password so that you can log in. You want me to use your KAOS Now email, or do you want me to use your standard email?
Standard email, since I haven't switched yet.
Okay. Just a second. Let me bring that back up to what it is. It's content. Okay. Da, 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 da. Okay. Oh. What the hell is it? I'm just making sure I got everything going right here. All right, save and close. Okay.
Is that all we want to talk about today?
I think for the KAOS stuff, yeah. There's one other thing I wanted to mention. Oh, it's a little bit of a sidebar.
All right, what is it?
So I hopefully I'll be done in the next half an hour to an hour here. But I've tried to write out an invitation for to get people to come and have a discussion on our Change AI's View subreddit. And so I'm trying to do something quite provocative here. And so I'm going to be posting on I'm going to make a post on the Change AI's View, where I'm going to ask the Chat GPT to moderate and judge whether or not there's a genocide going on right now in Palestine. And then I'm going to cross-post that to a pro-Israeli site, asking them to come and participate in this discussion. And then I'm also going to post this in a pro-Palestinian site, possibly a few of each. We'll see what I find. But I'm going to try cross-posting this in Palestinian sites and Israeli sites, and have them come and put in their get involved in this discussion. I expect it to be quite the free-for-all. I'm expecting belligerent assholes. I am expecting absolute, name calling and all the worst kind of people that argue, because they are dealing with the Chat GPT. They're not dealing with what they're not going to be communicating with one another. They're all each going to be communicating with the AI bot. So the Chat GPT doesn't care if you swear at it or call it names, and you're not going to help you in your argument. So anyway, I'm going to see. This is an experiment to see how this goes, and I'm inviting multiple people from either side to come in and get involved in this discussion, and we're going to see how this goes. It's like I said, it's going to be very much a free for all. The conversation can branch off at any point in the different directions. It may come up with different outcomes, and then so you can take arguments from another outcome and put it into another discussion. Anyway, this thing, we don't know how this thing's going to grow and evolve, this discussion, or how many branches or anything is going to happen. But we're going to try it and see what happens. And I'm picking the most controversial subject at the moment, where people do not argue in good faith. And we will see how the AI deals with this. So anyway, I'm going to try this. I'm going to hopefully have this posted within the next hour to maybe 2 hours at the most. And I'll have this posted on these subreddits and on our Change AI View subreddit. Like I say, cross-posting, so that they don't even have to come to our site to do this, because it's cross-posted. It'll be available for them to see on these other subreddits as well. So
sounds interesting.
Yeah, this is going to be. We'll see what happens. So
I'll even throw a link in the AI subreddit. Yeah. I could do that too. Yes, that's another. I'm already a member of it, so I can throw a link up there. I'll talk to the mods, see if I can do it.
There's more than one. I'm already on a few AI subreddits, so. But
yeah,
anyway,
I don't remember which one I'm on. Yeah.
I'll. So as soon as I get this posted to a couple of places, I will put out an email, so that you guys get with a link, so that you guys can get involved if you want. Okay. Okay, so I just wanted to fill you in on that. I'm going to get on that right away. I've got most of it written right now. I just need to finish up a couple things, and then I'm going to be posting that. Okay, so wish me luck, and we'll see what happens. And get involved if you want to do your part.
I posted something about the genocide.
Did you? And where did you post it?
In your subreddit. Change AI's View.
In our subreddit. So you've already posted something about the genocide, and you started a conversation.
Yeah.
And
I remember seeing that the other day.
I didn't see it. Has there been any participation? Did you cross-post it anywhere or anything?
No, I haven't done anything like that. I'm waiting for you to do that.
Okay. So I'm going to have to take a look at that, and maybe I should just cross-post that one.
Maybe. I can see people disagreeing, and I'm easily going to turn over to their side because the way I said it was, I put the date October 7th, and I said, what's been happening after October 7th in Gaza is a genocide. I see people replying saying, motherfucker's been going on 75 years. And I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to.
So you did get some responses.
No. I'm just telling you what I expect people to do.
Oh,
it's as volatile a topic as you could guess, as you could pick.
For today,
Especially right now.
Yeah, right now. Yes,
right now. For the past, I don't know how many, just over
months.
A year.
Yeah. Well, it's become more and more questionable.
More and more. It keeps getting more every day. Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to suggest maybe you delete that, Rami, so I can start a whole new one.
Okay.
And it won't be confusing to people that there's more than one discussion going on.
Okay.
On that. Okay.
Sure.
I think it'll be helpful if you deleted that, and then, like I said, I'll send out an email with links for you guys, and so you'll know when it's up. All right. Sound good?
Okay. Yep.
All right. Deleted.
Okay. Okay, guys.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week, and maybe we'll talk. Well, you'll be in. Maybe we'll all be involved in that post. But all right, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks, man.
All right, Brian.
Bye, guys.